Hi, everyone. This is Norman Koshnak here with Eyes on Sports, or Eyes on Cricket with my name. We are here again. We missed the game, but maybe it was good that we actually did miss the game, because I think a few people, namely Carl and Chris, would be a little bit perplexed or devastated with the result. But in fact, as we heard that Afghanistan were the victors over England, and England are basically out of the semi-final race for the Champions Trophy, and it leaves Australia to play Afghanistan in a short while. And we'll wait and see whether, in fact, Afghanistan can knock Australia over, except for Maxwell's efforts. It could happen again. That would mean Afghanistan could make the semi-finals, which would be a fairy tale story. I'd like to welcome Carl Pearson. How are you?
Very good, Norm. Great to be back on.
So Carl's here, but he's also a part of his own platform with Chris Vernon, is normally here, which is in fact at the Cricket Club Wide. So you can see at the bottom of the screen there, scrolling along with mine. A lot of people have said to me on the streets of Sydney today, which I frequent, that they're not nervous about this game, but the history of where, in fact, Afghanistan almost beat Australia in the World Cup is certainly something to worry about. Because I mean, the fellow that got 177 for Afghanistan batted fantastic. What was his name again? Did you go to grab his name, Carl? I've got his name.
I didn't, but I'll have a look, Norm.
That's right. We'll have a look. Anyway, we have to be wary of the fact that that sort of performance is not a one-off. It is something of an ongoing situation with Afghanistan. They are performing. Gavaz was the other bloke that I was thinking of that was worthy of note. But let's have a look here. We're just going
Ibrahim Zadran.
Yes, correct. That's his name. So the fact is, today's match, we're looking at the team lists. They're not showing it here just yet. But yeah, it's a team that really is full of ability, batting and bowling. Well, clearly with the bowling department, we have Rashid Khan, probably the best spinner in the world, you'd have to argue. And they are action packed with players. So they're both batting and bowling. They're very capable of winning this overall competition. I can see Himanshu's join us, as he usually does. He's saying that Afghanistan have been playing really good cricket and should be better than Australia. Well, Australia haven't been playing great cricket, so I can't say there'll be any certainties to play or to win this match. I'd argue they're in worse form now than they were in the World Cup, which would be less troops, so to speak. The thing is there that I think Afghanistan are at the same level of strength they were when they played us in that World Cup, and with that experience under their belt. And if Glenn Maxwell tries, if he doesn't fire, well, then we could be in for a bit of trouble. But you know what, though, Carl? I think that Glenn Maxwell is actually very possible. He's very possible to repeat a similar dose. He kind of has a knack of doing it against the same side repetitively. And he'd be mentally in the mood because he knows he's done it before. Double 100. You can't get much better than that. That's quite an amazing result, wasn't it?
It was an amazing game, Norm. I remember watching it, thinking at the time, what a the toss is on now. Just
Afghanistan chose to bat
live on TV. So the game in the World Cup was one for the ages, wasn't it? It was a game where the Aussies were 6-7 down, absolutely zero chance of winning the game, and Maxwell.
Hang on, so you keep talking. I was going to grab something out of the room. Hang on a second.
The Big Show himself came good and saved Australia. Not for the first time, and probably not for the last time. So I don't envisage the same result today. It baffles me why the Afghans won the toss and batted the other day against England, albeit it worked out.
So you're saying they shouldn't have batted first?
They shouldn't have batted. Well, everyone knows that you've got to bat second and chase, don't they? The Jew came in the other night and they still won, which just tells you how bad England were.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting situation. Look, it would be mind blowing to imagine Australia getting beaten by Afghanistan today, and Afghanistan going on, you know. It would be mind blowing. I also got to play myself. It would be mind blowing, but it would also be a cricketing coup, because this Champions Trophy, and I think I expressed my thoughts earlier on, is somewhat of a, I hate to use the word joke, but it's somewhat of a I don't know, a game that's, sorry, a series that really has not got a great deal of standing anymore.
It's a poor relation, isn't it, of international tournaments? We said that the other day. It's not viewed anything differently around the world by fans or players. It's a tournament that's squeezed into the schedule, a busy schedule. The selections of teams has borne that out, with teams playing their, second team or 1.5 first team, or whatever you want to call it. And the Aussies have got I don't know what you'd call it, Norm. Probably, second team. Got some first team batters in there, but you got effectively a second team. India have got a good strong team, but they could have put out a second team, as they did recently in the series against England, and they won that 3-0 with their second team. So,
so Afghanistan won the toss and elected to bat. That's what we're hearing.
It is. That's right. Yep.
Just checking on the teams selections to see if there's anything there that is of interest as far as the teams are concerned. I'm just checking that now. It's would you have expected any changes before looking? Would you have expected any changes to not the Australian side at least?
No, the Australian team is Head, Short, Smith, Labuschagne, Inglis, Carey, Darshas, Nathan Ellis.
Darshas is in, is he?
Yeah,
let's have a look there.
Yep.
Well, he was. Yeah. Okay.
He's in.
So we got this playing 11. There we go. Okay, so they got Shorthead, Smith, Labuschagne, Inglis. It's no different. It's the same side.
Adam Zampa, Nathan Ellis, Spencer Johnson, Ben Darshas.
It's the same side. It's the same 11.
Big Show, Alex Carey, Inglis, and the rest. And
looking at the Afghanistan side with Gabaz and Zadran, they're fabulous opening batters. Hashmatullah Shahidi, the captain, is an interesting one because he wasn't normally a captain of the side. Mohammed Nabi is a fantastic all-rounder. Rashid Khan's also bowled very well. They've got a pretty fair lineup here. I'll tell you what, there's quite a Navid Sadram, which I believe he's the bowler. He's not on the team, but it's a pretty even lineup, to be honest. I'm by no means predicting a victory to Afghanistan, but Imani John saying no change. Also, both teams are unchanged. Yep, both teams unchanged. There was a lot of word about Australia playing other players. I mean, we don't need to. We wouldn't do that. We don't. This is a significant tournament, supposedly. So you're putting your best team on the paddock every game, even though Afghanistan are perceived to be a lesser side. They're certainly not. Anyway, so Gabaz, what do you think of him? He's a fantastic bat. He bats really well in all formats.
They've got. We talked about it the other day in midweek, Norm. They're one of the major plus points over the last few years in international cricket. Their rise to the rankings has been nothing short of extraordinary, and they've got some very accomplished cricketers now. That being said, there's no doubt in my mind that sides like Australia, who I think will win comfortably today, let's get it out there on the table. They'll beat Afghanistan comfortably, even their second team. And again, it just shows you what a shambles the England tournament has been, and the recent form has been abysmal. So we were talking about it beforehand the other day. We were all wary of the England-Afghanistan game. Congratulations to Afghanistan for a brilliant performance. But England were a shambles. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's. I've headed this preview of the ICC Champions Trophy between Australia and Afghanistan. I've put in the heading England's demise. Now, there's a lot. Did you see that there was an interesting? I've posted on my other socials about the comment that was made by one of the England female cricketers. Did you see Alex Hartley? Do you know of her, Alex Hartley? And she said
she did all the punditry in the women's Ashes. Yeah.
Alex Hartley has slammed English men's and women's cricket teams after a string of poor form, which has seen the men bundle out of the Champions Trophy and the group stage, and the women lose the Ashes in Australia, the whitewash, which was pretty devastating.
Yep.
And her words were, "The arrogance of the England teams irritates me. They say they don't care about the results, and we want to entertain people, but people don't want to come and watch you if you lose all the time." That's a fair comment.
Yep. It's a fair comment. I've seen quite a lot of punditry and there's obviously been a bit of a stewards' inquiry going on in public over here, Norm, after the other day, and you know the blame. Actually, our preview the other day, our chat the other day about the Champions Trophy was pretty much spot on in regards to England. The team that lost to Afghanistan was in my opinion poorly selected. The balance was all over the place. We had them 30 for 3. They looked all over the place against pace early on, and we just ran out of bowlers because we didn't pick enough bowlers, and we ended up fiddling around with Joe Root and Livingston, and the guy, you know, Ibrahim played well, but all he had to do was weather the storm early on, stay in, which they did. They tinkered around at 3.5 and over until middle of the innings, the drinks break, I think, when Jonathan Trott came out and said, you know, took the chocks off and said, right, you know, here we go. Now you've got Root and Livingston to bowl. And then, as we saw with the Australia game, when the quicks came back and they started trying to bowl leg breaks and knuckle balls and stuff, they started going out of the park, and they did the same again. So it was an abject performance by England, and they're right, and they should expect to get a pummeling in the media, which they're getting.
Look, I mean, the way that I see this game going now, with Afghanistan batting first, they'll try to set a target, of course, and make it worthy of Australia. Will they be able to hold Australia back? You would think with the Maxwell factor in the team, even though he hasn't batted that well of late, he'll love this opportunity, and he'll have a great memory, a muscle memory almost, of how he played against. He'll have to damage his calf muscles and get a cramp going. He was cramped, wasn't he, last time? That was even more amazing. He scored 200 after having been severely hampered by the inability to run. I mean, he barely even stand, and he scored 200.
It was extraordinary, and I actually remember it vividly. Where you think that all they've got to do is bowl a couple of slower balls or a couple of wide Yorkers, and whatever they bowled to him, you know, he decided that he was going to hit it out the ground, and he hit every ball out the ground. It was a real feat of, you know, endurance and fitness. Even though he wasn't fit as in cramp, he was fit enough to keep, and strong enough to keep muscling the ball for 6, which is no easy feat. You know, it's not easy what he did. You know, and
it's hard enough to do when you're able-bodied.
Yeah,
and the strength of your stance.
As cricketers, you know, as a cricketer, I know exactly how difficult it is. You know, hitting 1-6. Never mind getting 200. You know, it was an extraordinary innings, and you know, going back to the start, Norm, the Aussies have got way too much for them. Like we can give the Afghanistan boys team set up as much praise as we want, and it's all due to come to them. But at the end of the day, it's Australia, and they've got all these boys at the top of the order in great form, and whatever they set them, 250, 300, 200, whatever it is, the Aussies will just take it as a bit of practice for the semi-final. It's simple as that.
So Rishabh Kahari says that Aaron Hardy should have been placed in the team instead of Spencer Johnson. My thoughts are that Aaron Hardy should have been included in the side with Spencer Johnson. Australia needed an extra bowler, even though they did well against England that day. There's something not right with the Australian side. I think at this point in time, you'd have to favour India and New Zealand over any other team at the moment to make the over. They could well be matched up in the final. In fact, they play against each other, don't they, this weekend as well?
The one of the real anomalies of this tournament is the fact that India are playing in Dubai, and one of the real hamstrings of the teams that are playing in Pakistan is that they all play over the next couple of days. Australia and Afghanistan today, and South Africa still in with a chance of qualifying against England on Saturday. And bizarrely, you guys or yourselves, Afghanistan and South Africa, have got to wait around somewhere near an airport for the result on Sunday between New Zealand and India to see you play. If India win on Sunday, they stay in Dubai and play the second place team in this division. So, international cricketers are hanging around waiting to travel and then get to Dubai with half a day's notice to play a semi-final. It's absolute madness. And how it's been allowed to transpire like this is incredible in today's age, and the international cricket organisations are allowing it to happen, to sit around and wait for a result, to know where you go into the next game, is crazy. They should be getting to the venue somewhere in Pakistan, settling into the hotel, having a practice, whatever. They've got to fly overseas to Dubai, either the winner of today's game and or South Africa. I've got to fly to Dubai and get there and with half a day's preparation for an international semi-final. It's
totally embarrassing, and I keep saying this, and I'm not
going to unfair as well. It's these are pro cricketers who presumably want to get a winner's medal for an international tournament, and they're at a significant disadvantage in the game by travelling the day before or arriving internationally the day before. It would never happen. It never happens in any other competition, any other cricket match internationally. They arrive in the country. They have plenty of preparation time, plenty of acclimatizing time, and this is an international tournament semi-final. And the organisers have allowed it to happen that a team playing in the semi-final arrive with 12 hours notice before a semi-final.
Well, if India don't win this tournament, then it's their own fault, because they've done everything they possibly can to win it in terms of the time.
Yeah, and I think they're probably heavy favourites. I don't know what the bookies suggest, Norm, but I suspect they're heavy favourites. And if Aussie win today, I think they'll win comfortably. That means they top the group, and you'll play in Pakistan against the loser of Sunday's game, which will be good for the major thing today on this game is the reason that it's a big game now is because you don't want to travel. So coming top of this group is really important.
Well, Manu Jones says that giving them a day's prep in the country is not good enough. He also talks about a 3.5-hour flight time from Pakistan to Dubai. That's not exactly nothing. 3.5 hours is long enough to destabilise your whole planning, and you've got to then transfer to and from airports. That the whole thing's 6-7 hours then in total. That's really going to start. It's just not right. It really is, and because it disadvantages everyone else but India, it's just awful.
Yeah, look, everyone in the game knows what's going on, and it's not made enough. It's not made enough of in the media, in my opinion. It's not acceptable. in this day and age. And I'm surprised that the countries taking part are not saying more about it, because Australia have got a lot of weight in the international game. They're one of the teams that are potentially on standby for flights, and so are England and South Africa. They're all big nations within the ICC, and they're all party to the plan of travelling with 12 hours notice to play an international semi-final. It's madness. And the fact we're thinking about it, I don't think anybody's ever even considered the injury possibility. Traveling overseas, deep vein thrombosis, this sort of thing. What's the recovery time for a flight? Is it okay to go into a game 12 hours later? I don't know. It can't be ideal for a professional sportsman's body to travel and play a major game 12 hours later.
And the fact that they've had to train indoors in Pakistan because of the rain factor was another thing. I mean,
we said the other day.
Okay, let's take a step back. One good thing out of this is they've actually given the opportunity for Pakistan to host an ICC tournament.
Yeah,
that's one positive.
It's amazing. It's brilliant. It's great for the game, and I've seen, I've watched most of the games, and the crowds have been brilliant. Even Afghanistan, England the other day, the crowd built up during the day, and by the time the game came to obviously quite an exciting end for the neutral, the ground had got was 3/4 full. So the public in Pakistan have taken the tournament, to heart. They've really got behind the tournament. It's great to see that international cricket and a tournament has gone back to Pakistan after so long. It's just a shame that you've got this silliness about teams having to travel overseas, which can't be right.
They mentioned Himanshu has made, and Rishabh has made comments around. Well, first of all, the reality is that Australia has a number of bowlers there. We have quite a few talented bowlers running through. Xavier Bartlett, have you seen him bowl?
Yep, I have, I've seen quite a lot of Nathan Ellis, because he's been over to play at Lords for the last 3 or 4 years for the London Spirit in the 100. Yeah, a good performer, a very wholehearted cricketer. No surprise that he's doing well, Nathan Ellis. He's got a lot of good variations. Just looking at the table, Norm, actually, South Africa are top with a far superior run rate. So the Aussies to come top of the group need to beat the Afghans significantly, comfortably today. So they'll be hoping to keep them under, keep them under 250 and knock them off in 30 odd overs, because that's what they're going to need to do to top the group.
But the intriguing thing to me is, I don't care where South Africa finish, they're not going to win it.
They're not going to win it, but you as an Aussie, if you come second in the group, you're doing this flying malarkey, on Monday. You're waiting for the result on Sunday afternoon in Dubai, and then you're flying Monday and playing Tuesday. You don't want it. If you guys have got ambitions on winning the tournament, you don't want to do that. You're at a massive disadvantage. Whoever wins that game is back in their hotel an hour after the end of the game, getting ready for a semi-final Tuesday while you guys are in the air.
You're right.
This game is big for these two teams, Afghanistan and Australia, and then you're both hoping that England decide to turn up on Saturday and turn the South Africans over, because that's the way.
It's not impossible for England to beat South Africa.
No, it's not impossible. And as much as we want to lambast the English for getting knocked out and losing both games, they've lost both games by a fag paper, haven't they? They've got 300, 350 and 325, or 310 in 2 games and lost both. It's been game management probably in both games. On the other day against the Afghans, we needed to run a ball with 3 wickets left, and we plonked 3 balls to long on.
They're showing they're showing graphics just now. Well, not graphics. They're showing the ground at the moment. Have you got live coverage where you are?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because the Afghanistan looks very settled. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I would love to see. I would love to see Afghanistan win. They probably won't, though, but I'd love to see them.
It'd be great. It'd be great for the game if they get to another international semi-final, and then you and the South Africans will be fighting out for the second spot. But I can't see it, Norm. I can't see it. You know, Spencer Johnson's gonna take the new ball in a minute, and the bloke bowls at 90 miles an hour, and we saw the other day Wood and Archer reduced the Afghans to 30 for 3 because they couldn't live with the pace. So I just see Spencer Johnson, balance of the Aussies team again with a left armour will be massive. And then, you know, I expect Dorsius and Nathan Ellis will come on later on and do his thing with his variations and his slow balls. And
well, Manu John, who makes comments very regularly, said Afghanistan is far too good and will be thrashed today. Yeah. Do you think they'll be thrashed or be beaten?
I think they'll be thrashed. I think that the difference the other day, Norm, in my opinion, was, and I think I heard it from Michael Atherton, one of the English commentators, was that they've both England and Australia have got a similar strategy in playing probably a bowler short. That's their strategy to have you know, lots of batting. And the difference in the Aussie England game was that your bit part bowlers did the job and ours didn't. And that'll be the big part of today's game is whether Maxwell and Short can fiddle through 10 overs or 15 overs effectively, because you've got the frontline bowlers to cause the Afghans problems. Can the backup bowlers supplement that? England didn't, and that was the difference against the Aussies the other day. Is that your bit part bowlers did.
Just a few people asking about the team selections. The same 11 that played in the previous match for Australia and for Afghanistan are here. Aaron Hardy once again misses out. Also,
the Afghan team, Norm, is Gurbaz, Ibrahim Zadran, Sadiqullah Atal, Rahmat Shah, Hazmullah Shahidi, the captain. Omar
Mohamed Nabi's a fantastic player.
Mohamed Nabi, who's an international
cricketer. is also a good player. They got some really good players.
Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed, the left arm leg spinner, and Fazalak Faruqi, the left arm opening bowler. And Australia is Matt Short, Travis Head, Steve Smith, Labuschagne, Josh Inglis, Alex Carey, The Big Show, Glenn Maxwell, Darcius, Spencer Johnson, Nathan Ellis, and Adam Zampa. Those are the two.
I mean, I tell you what, Josh Inglis is something special.
The batting's too good, Norm. Anybody that's, you know, we all want to see a good game. It's all about opinions, but these are elite level international batters for Australia. And it's going to be a decent pitch. There's been a lot of runs scored on this pitch. And the Afghans will need to put up more than... Aussies chased 350 against England in the end of the canter the other day.
So the game's starting, but we're going to stick around a little bit longer. Spencer Johnson is... Spencer Jolly's a comedian in Australia, by the way. So I can see Gurbaz and Ibrahim coming out the bat now. Really, these two openers are the key for Afghanistan. These two have to get a none for. Well, they did a similar thing in the previous match against Australia. They scored quite a few runs, didn't they? And then they had Australia on toast and should have won. And then still that has to go down as one of the best matches I've ever seen in an ODI tournament. The one that Maxwell played, really not being able to stand up, scoring 200, it's still beyond belief. Here we are. Ibrahim Sadrana's scored 634 runs. He's not a slouch, that's for sure.
No, the guy got 170 the other day, Norm. So you can't be a slouch. And he faced, you know, we talk about England, but I wouldn't want to face Jofra Archer and Mark Wood, and the guy faced him and got 170. So you know, and he faced Adil Rashid, who's regarded as, you know, one of the best ODI bowlers. So you know, hats off to him. 170 in any game is an unbelievable knock. To do it.
I just saw Spencer Johnson there. He's played 5 matches. He's only taken 2 wickets. Now, I know it's early days, but he's the lead opening bowler, a la Mitchell Stark. You would hope he could take early wickets. Now, we're going to see the early stages here. This is crucial. I think how these openers handle Spencer Johnson could decide, well, not the match, but put the match in a bit of perspective here. I'm so glad Josh Inglis is keeping and not Alex Carey. I mean, Alex Carey's fielding in the outfield was magnificent, but Josh Inglis is in there for his batting as well as his batting as well as his keeping, and is ahead of Alex Carey in this team.
Yep,
and should stay so.
Yep, and rightly so. But we seem to have a period in the game where, you know,
first ball has just been tapped down the leg side.
England played 4 keepers the other day. I mean, the balance of the team is absolutely miles off. I mean, why you think you should play four keepers? I'll never know.
So they ran 2 there. That was quite nifty. That was quite a decent second run there. It was certainly not on at one stage. They could easily run out. But I'm just curious. Did you see Josh Inglis took the ball in front of the stumps? That's not the way I would keep. You normally are behind the stumps.
It's the modern way, Norm, isn't it? You know, the keepers all over the world now. I see franchise cricket do it all the time. They've obviously it's obviously a stats based decision, like most things are these days. You know,
if you're catching the ball and turning around, the ball's already hit the stumps if it's a direct hit. So
if it's direct hit, you're causing a delay. But if not, you don't turn around as a keeper anymore. You take it coming towards you and basically backhand it onto the stump. So you're trusting the keeper's positioning, but they're taking the ball ahead of time and reaching back rather than turning around. So it's a modern way. It's polarizing in the keepers union, whether it works or not. In our day, Norm, playing, you'd stand behind the sticks and wait for it to bounce in and take the bails off. Now they stand in front of it, sometimes a yard or 2 in front of it, to make sure they get a good look at the stumps.
Well, I think Matthew Shorts has taken the ball at first look like a keeper. That was outrageous.
The most important, important evidence of that of the keepers doing that, Norm, is going back to the World Cup final. If you remember, when Josh Buttler took the ball in front of the stumps and leaned back to take the bails off when England beat New Zealand at Lords in the one-day final, they were heady. They were halcyon days. Now you look back, 2019, and as you say, a lot of swing there for Spencer Johnson.
It's a very wide delivery he's bowling.
He's got that in his locker, hasn't he? The spraying a bit. He bowls a heavy ball, but he is capable. He has got it in him. Looks very. Another reason why it's an odd one to bat first. It looks overcast, doesn't it? You know, it looks like it's perfect.
Looks polluted to me.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Whatever it is, it looks like on the face of it, on the screen, looks like a bowling morning, doesn't it? Looks like a bowling. Win the toss and bowl first.
Now I'm going to take a second. I think I've got a meal arriving. This is impromptu, but this is my dinner time. So hang on.
Drop in the chat, guys. What do we think Norm's got coming in on Deliveroo? Spencer Johnson, a wicket. in swinging Yorker, and Gurbaz is clean bowled for naught. So, as predicted,
Scotland's taking a wicket.
Gurbaz in swinging Yorker, bowled. Afghanistan 3 for 1. If you're watching the preview, guys, we've just told you exactly what's going to happen.
I mean, for God's sake, I walk away for 1 minute and the wicket falls.
Yeah, and I'm just going to remind the viewers that you also said that Johnson hadn't taken many wickets. So,
well, he's done a Mitchell Stark. He's done a Mitchell Stark and he's opening the over.
We just stay tuned to these podcasts, guys, because you're getting some brilliant previews, because we just talked about looks a bowling morning, looks a bowling day over there, and the ball is hooping around corners, and Johnson has just done his best Mitchell Stark impersonation, because he's just set one outside off stump. It swung back in.
Well, he definitely set that up, didn't he? He set it up
and knocked him
with
over.
The ball's going away, and then that one in, which was traditionals. He'd be very happy.
Yep, and the Aussies have done what we thought they do, Norm, which is get off to a fast start with the quicks and straight into the Afghan number 3, Sadiq, who didn't have a great day against England the other day, and will need to, steady the ship, because I've seen Johnson bowl over here for the Oval Invincibles, and he's a bowler that when his tail's up.
That was a very full ball.
Yeah, that's what this is what I've seen him do over here in the 100. When his tail's up, he can bowl brilliantly. He's a streak bowler, I think, and it looks to me like he started off well from the first few balls. I know we're very early on. Afghanistan got to do the same as they did the other day, which is hold the fort and hope they can get into the change bowlers after.
Let's see if we can take another wicket. That's the good thing about having a left-hander coming in. He could thwart that movement with a different position.
Yeah. And it also goes back to our point we made previously about the balance of these teams. It's great for the Aussies to have a left-arm seamer to complement 2 right-arm seamers and Adam Zampa and the two part-time off-break bowlers. But, if you're gonna have a part-time attack, you got to have a balanced attack. England didn't have a balanced attack. They had all right-arm seamers and Adil Rashid and 2 part-time spinners and no left-arm.
I must say, Gaddafi Stadium is a magnificent stadium. I went there recently. It's a magnificent stadium.
It is, and it's a great pitch. Ben Dorser's first ball.
Yep, my meal's just arriving. I'll go and get it.
Beaten Sadiq outside the off stump. Again, some significant amount of swing, which is good news for the Aussies, because both bowlers are extracting quite a lot of swing out of the early skirmishes. Dorser's in again, bowls again, outswing taken by English and no run. Ibrahim yet to face a ball. The hero, the 100 hero from the other day. 170 odd last week. He's been in so far for an over and a half and not faced a ball. Afghanistan be hoping that he can repeat the dose against the Aussies. Australia got 3 slips in place, and it looks like. Say again. Norm, what was that? Afghanistan coached by an English test player, Jonathan Trott, who's obviously a born South African. So Trott is trotted down the rounds in his cricket career. Born in Cape Town, I think, lived in Cape Town, got his roots in Cape Town, came to England to play international cricket. Had a great career for England. Won some Ashes. Now coaching Afghanistan, and aided by another great of international cricket, Yunus Khan. Must be the batting coach, I would imagine. Dorsus has bowled a brilliant over here. 5 dot balls in a row, all with significant amount of swing. Aussies have got 2 slips in the gully. Dorsus bowling left arm over to Sadiq, left-handed batter, number 3 for Afghanistan. And Dorsus is in for his final ball, and they squirted out for a couple. Nope. Yes, missed field. And they scrambled back for it. So what have we got, Norm? We've done a poll online. What was the order of the day?
Well, it's not Afghani food, but it's Thai.
Lovely.
It's a green chicken curry. I'd share it with you. I'd share it with you there, Carl, but you're a bit far away.
And it's a bit early it's a bit early in London for a Thai green curry, Norm.
It's never too early.
Good start from the Aussies. 6 for 1 after 2 overs.
I know those buildings, by the way. They're showing on the screen.
I've never been. I've been lucky enough in my
Honestly,
career
Pakistan. Chris is making comments on WhatsApp. Why is he on the show?
Yep. All he said is hope it's going well. I couldn't be bothered, which is good.
The fact that Chris is WhatsApp messaging might be coming on the show. Ooh. Spencer Johnson on song now, isn't he? He's back up.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's that was a beauty. He's a bit of a streaky bowler, isn't he? He's once he gets into this kind of rhythm, I think there's trouble around for that was Ibrahim's first ball.
Those surroundings we're seeing there, that's distinctly fog. That's distinctly fog. Not fog, sorry, smog. Smog.
Yeah. It's one of the places I haven't been, and I'd love to go. I was lucky enough to travel quite a lot with cricket. And
I went via India through Amritsar, through the Wagah border, across to Lahore, picked up by some of the Lahore Qalandar people. And I had a fantastic. Akib Java, the actual coach of Pakistan, picked me up from the airport, from the border, took me over there. It was Lahore Qalandar's practice grounds are literally on the border.
Right. We just had Sam Billings on our broadcast last week, Norm, and he's on his way to play for the Lahore Qalandars in the
PSL
Super League. Yeah.
I actually met with would you believe there was a gentleman out here from Welsh Fire, their high performance coach. His name eludes me now. I met up with him just recently. He's here about the concussion. He's travelling around Australia talking to all the sporting coaches about concussion. You see, Kumar Damasceno, the
oh, goodness me. Another great ball. Inside edge past the keeper. Oh, 4 byes. No touch.
Oh, wow.
Just massive swing. The ball's going around corners. Whatever's going on with the atmosphere, the ball's going around corners. Johnson's just
that smog wouldn't help. Would have helped, sorry.
Outside off stump, and then it swung massively in between.
Oh,
it swung
after it pitched.
It missed the stumps by a fag paper, and gone for 4 byes. Incredible.
Josh Inglis was fully stretched.
Now,
to that
now he's spraying it now. That's 5 wides. Down the leg side, massive swing, no chance for Josh Inglis, 5 wides.
So I got to be careful here because we're taking a wicket, but they can let Afghanistan get a bit of a run on here.
I think you'll see. I don't think Steve Smith will take long to react to the amount of swing. If Johnson gets it right, he'll be deadly. But if he gets it wrong, like he is this over, I don't mean wrong because the 4 buys missed the stumps by a fag paper.
The problem is it goes against the keeper. The stats will show the keeper missed it.
Yeah, but the Smith won't take long to make a change, and Nathan Lace will come on and bowl right arm, and get back on track. If he missed that by
but Johnson's clearly there to take wickets, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he'll definitely bowl 3 or 4 overs, and they'll try and chip 2 or 3 more out.
I really hope Glenn Maxwell gets a chance to bat well.
Well, the pitches have been absolutely deadly, haven't they? So, he's not going to be put out by the pitch. He's not going to be inconvenienced by the pitch whatsoever. Pitch is going to be good. Is going to be great.
Look, Afghanistan may not get a great total. We just don't know that yet, but they may not get a great total. But look, all it takes is just a couple of the spinners to get a few wickets early. Australia could be a little bit wobbly.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Afghans' strategy is to get through this opening salvo, get into the middle of the innings and set it up for the end, where they've got some good hitters in the middle order, like the guys that came in and got 40 the other day off 25 balls. Mohammed Nabi came in and got 40 off 28 balls, and
with Spencer Johnson's bowling, what I'm seeing here now, he's bowling some great swings, moving around, but his best ball was on the stumps, correct?
But look, it's a left armer's go-to ball, isn't it? It's set the batsman up with a couple that go across him, and then if you've got one that swings back in, full length, exactly what he did for the wicket. After that, we've gone a little bit all over the place. Today's weather, look, is not as nice as it has been.
It's bright sunshine. It's not very warm. It's only 19 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, I saw that.
That smog's quite distinctive.
Yeah.
And having been there, the smog's quite overwhelming.
And I'm guessing that, it's obvious. It'll be better to bat later on, when dusk comes along and the dew comes in. It'll be easy. It'll be easier to bat, surely. At the moment, it's whatever effect the smog's having on the game, the ball's going around corners.
The problem is that with all these swing deliveries, they're not producing wickets, but they're certainly keeping the run rate down.
They are, apart from the extras they're giving away.
Before they have the wides, yeah.
Had they not? There's 9 in the last over, I think, and a wide before that. So 10, and we're in the 4th over, and there's 10 extras at least, comfortably the top scorer extras, and 3.5 overs down. Afghanistan 18 for 1, and Dorsius bowling beautifully. Got the ball on the end of the rope by the looks of it. Johnson more dangerous, but just a bit more leaky with the extras.
I mean, in the end, extras count.
Yep, they do. Clipped away for a couple. Dorsius just sneaking onto the leg stump.
Yep, I saw that.
Flicked over a square leg for a couple. The Afghans will be pleased. They're not being blown away early on.
No, they're not.
They'll be delighted with the start, and if they can get into the Maxwells and the Shorts coming on to bowl in probably 12th, 15th over.
And Ibrahim's virtually not faced, but he's only faced 3 balls.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to get a similar score than they got the other day. You know, the stats on this ground are that you need heavy runs batting first to win, and they should have got beaten the other day. You know, England needed 17 or 16 balls or something, which every team in the world would knock off by knocking it around at a run of ball, and England decided to try and do it in 2 hits and had 3 blokes caught on the fence. Not that I'm sore about it at all.
So what do you think about England and South Africa? What's your verdict on that one?
I think South Africa will win for the pure fact that England have got to be at fairly rock bottom. The captain did an interview at the end of the game saying that effectively that all options are on the table, which means that after this game on Saturday, he's going to jack it in or be sacked. I would imagine. So I can't imagine that they're going to be massively up for this game, Norm. Whereas the South Africans have got top spot to play for. They don't want to travel on Monday. So if they can give the English a beating on Saturday, they'll be tucked up in bed and you guys will be travelling.
But I mean, South Africa must be very happy they didn't have to play against Australia.
Yeah, yeah. Like we said the other day, I think we were on the other day when the game was abandoned. It was a game that suited both of them to be off because it put massive pressure on England and Afghanistan. The loser of that game went out. Whereas had Australia beaten South Africa, they would have been 2-2. South Africa would have been 1-1, and the game would have been a live rubber on Saturday, but because it was rained off.
Now, Dean Mahmood's asking where Rapakshi is. Rapakshi is now a podiatrist. Her career has begun. Okay, 1 for 21 off 4.2 overs.
How's the forget the cricket, Norm? What the millions watching around the world want to know is how's the Thai?
The what?
How's the Thai food?
I know I'm getting some jealous people. This Thai food is one of the best Thai restaurants I've ever come across, especially in Australia. Didn't last very long, as you saw. Not that the food ever does, really. So I need to know from you more about your channel. We've got a moment here. Talk about your channel and what you've got coming up.
The Cricket Club is a channel that we set up recently because during our careers, Norm, in cricket, club cricket, minor counties, tours all over the world, been very lucky to play all over the world. But we met some great people as we've been around. Chris and I have played together for a few years now in club cricket.
How
long? Chris came to my club is Sevenoaks in Kent, and I've been there 15 years, and I'm guessing that Chris has been there for 5 or 6 years. He came after his own club got relegated out of the Premier League, and he came over to play with me at my club, and since then we've been friends, and he knows a lot of people. As you know, he can talk.
He says he knows a lot of people.
He can talk the Heineken of a donkey. You know, if the bloke got paid for talking, he'd be rich. But we've met a lot of people, and it was his idea to start our YouTube channel. Our business, the Cricket Club, has got a lot of different threads and brands to it. We run a county academy team for juniors, boys and girls. We help a lot of clubs with commercials and sponsorship and that sort of angle. And Chris said, "Why don't I help you start a a YouTube channel, a podcast, because I've set up a brilliant one with a mate of mine in Australia, and I can help you as well. So he's claiming that he's the driving force behind Eyes on Cricket, and he's now trying to do the same with the cricket club. But what we're about, Norm, is we get people on. We're normal blokes, normal cricketers, love the game, and we want to get some top guests on if we can to talk to the viewers all around the world, regular guys and girls who love the game, who can listen to heroes and top players on a podcast that isn't led by the mainstream media, and the questions aren't loaded or preloaded, and so we're going to try and get as many people on as we can to have a chat with the viewers over the next however long we last. It started off really well. Picked up a great sponsor yesterday for the podcast, which is great news. Yeah. So delighted about that, which will keep us going, keep us bringing the international cricketers to the followers. So really enjoying the Cricket Club YouTube channel. Really enjoying the cricket chats because at the end of the day, we all love the game, and we're all fanatics of the game. So anybody that joins will hear some good guests and listen to some great cricket chat, and hopefully we can have a bit of fun along the way as well.
And I'll attach links to any videos that come up into the channel itself over time. And as we get to a more, I hate to say it, juicier tournament, then we'll be able to, see the correlation of it all. Obviously, a World Cup is where the real audience starts. People are watching the live feed at the moment, but Travis Head's out there. They love seeing Travis Head bat in nets for some reason. He's very popular.
Yeah, I think there's lots of videos doing the rounds over here of Harry Brooks' net sessions. So he's the equivalent for the England team and followers. His net sessions are pretty popular to watch online, Norm. So that's obviously
Do you think Travis Head should open though? Do you think he should be an opener?
Yeah. In the short format,
in all formats.
No. I think in the white ball game, the stats over the years will tell you that only a very could be a drop there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that carried? Travis Short has dropped one, I think, a first slip off Darshus. Did it carry?
It fell short. It fell short.
Did it?
Geez, Short looks like Maxwell, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That's not badly played in the end of the day because he actually played that quite.
No, it fell short. It fell short.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that my view on the stats will tell you that only a small fraction of the batters get the majority of the balls in white ball cricket. So why wouldn't you have the top players going in at the top of the order? I said the other day, I thought that Joss Buttler should be going in first for England, and he batted at 6. It looks like a fish out of water at 6. Get him in there at the top of the order. I mean,
that's where he's done his best stuff. That's where he's done his best stuff.
The cricketers in white ball cricket in the world. Whether he's in form or not in form is debatable, but get him in there,
It's a bit hard to stay. It's a bit hard to stay in form at the top of the order if you're not at the top of the order. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he opens in T20, and England play the same way in 50 over cricket. So why is he batting at 6? I don't understand a lot of the decisions, but those people now are getting a shellacking in the media, the management and the selection. So and rightly so, because they've been dumped out of a tournament without winning a game.
So let's look at who the openers are. Duckett, he deserves to be there. Salt, I'm not sure.
Salt's you know, we talked about Spencer Johnson, Norm, being streaky. Phil Salt's the same. He's either horribly out of form, or he's crashing it around. But his stats would tell you that he's a bit of a flat track bully. You know, he gets massive runs against the West Indies, and you know, but when's he come to the party and done it when it really matters? You know, who do the Aussies want to open the batting against them? Josh Buttler or Phil Salt? It'd be 100 out of 100 say Phil Salt. They'd rather face Phil Salt. You know, and what do England do? Give them what they want.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been around the world. The opening batting positions of a short format game have actually been handled very badly. There's a lot of people that even let's talk about T20 as opposed to ODI. They get it wrong. They really do. They need to have a batting partnership, not individuals, but batting partnership. A pair of players that play well together. And that's the important factor. Now, if you keep chopping and changing the opening pair, Carl, you're not going to form that partnership, are you?
And also the proven way to success in that format, Norm, is to go with a left and right-handed opening pair because of what you're seeing here. The prodigious swing with a white international Kookaburra ball for the first 5, 6, 8, 10 overs, the ball's going to swing. And if you've got a bowler that gets it wrong early on with a right and left-hander, interchanging, you know, taking singles and exchanging the strike, you're putting the bowlers under even more pressure than you are anyway.
Any good opening partnership in an ODI team and any team, you go back through the history, have been partnerships.
Yep.
Whether it's even the days of Gilchrist with Mark Waugh, going back that far. In this particular match, we have Gurbaz and Ibrahim. That is a batting regular opening partnership.
Yep.
Whereas Australia and England and quite a few other sides have chopped and changed over time, and they aren't able to establish that.
Yep. They've chopped and changed in the white ball, and the Charlie Hartley interview and the general punditry feeling has been that England have been arrogant with this 50 over team. They haven't given it due consideration, haven't played any matches, won the World Cup in 2019 at home at Lords, and since then.
Were you there for that match?
Yeah,
I was too.
Yep. It was a great day. I'm very lucky to be a MCC member, so I get to go to Lords quite a bit and watch the games. I love watching the.
I get a reciprocal rights for a month.
That's right.
At the MCC membership because of my SCG membership.
That's right. Yeah, and those that's the same for the SCG. I think the MCG, Singapore Cricket Club, Hong Kong Cricket Club, they've all got a reciprocal agreement around the world, which is great for.
Really, Singapore and Hong Kong as well. Interesting.
Yeah. Reciprocal agreement with Singapore and Hong Kong. Hong Kong are coming over this year to play the MCC at Lords. Hong Kong Cricket Club are playing at Lords this year.
Well, that was with Simon Willis at the helm as coach.
Yeah.
Do you know Simon?
I do. Yeah. I played against him in the Kent League a few years ago. His club was St. Lawrence in Canterbury, and he was obviously one of the Kent coaches, Kent second team coach, in his career over here. So I know Simon. Yeah.
He's been a regular on my show over the years as well.
Great. Yeah, I think Chris mentioned getting him on ours because we both know Simon, and obviously he's got an interesting role at the moment. So,
especially if he wants to get him to talk about the MCC game against Hong Kong, that'd be good.
Yep, and we've got Adam Hollyoak coming on the show in the next couple of weeks, all being well. The new Kent coach who's coming over from Aussie to coach the Kent county team. So they start in the next 5 or 6 weeks. The English season starts.
Well, he's with them now, isn't he? He's over in where is he? They're where are they in Pakistan? Are they?
I think he's in Dubai.
Dubai, right? He's joined the team. I saw him with the team in some of his photographs.
Yeah, he was in Dubai when we spoke to him the other day, and hopefully we're going to get him on next week when they get back to.
So Afghanistan are 1 for 33 of 7 overs, which is fair to middling. That's roughly 5 and over. It's a solid start. By no means flashy.
They'll be delighted with it. If 4.5, I mean the current run rate 4.74, so that they'll be delighted if they can tinker along at the power play 45, 50 for one, they'll be over the moon, because their strategy, Norm, is going to be get through the initial barrage, set the game up, and go hard for the last 15, 20 overs, or attack the big show when he bowls, or Labuschagne if he bowls his little leg breaks or whatever he bowls, or Travis
Sadiq has faced 29 of the deliveries. Abraham's only faced 9. It's quite a disparaging amount there. Sadiq's only batting around 50, less than 50.
He's just hit his next ball for 4, Norm. So
I saw that. Yeah,
he's up to 9 off 10.
I'm putting the mocker on every time I say something. He does something.
Yeah, you left the room before saying that Johnson didn't get any wickets, and he knocked his poles over the next ball, I think. Chris is coming on, he said.
Is he?
He said he is.
Well, he's fashionably an hour late.
He's I don't know what he's doing, but he's getting himself organised. Well, might have to run a poll to see what the viewers think he's doing.
I mean, he's not going to influence this telecast too much, coming an hour late.
9:30 a.m. on a Friday morning. I'm not sure what
you know what we should do. When he comes up, we'll say, that's a wrap. We'll finish up now. Thanks, Chris, for your point of view. It was really important. There's definitely a lot of smog there. Oh, my God, look at that smog.
Darsh just doing himself no harm at all, is he, with this opening spell? Getting his chance to bowl in what is a second team attack. This won't be the attack that takes the field in a World Cup or anything.
Australia's not going to win this tournament. I'll tell you that right now. I think it'll be India or New Zealand.
Well, look, if you think that you're not winning it, and I think that the South Africans will do what the South Africans do, probably. New Zealand are a reasonable team, but it's the Indians will probably win it. Hard on the bridle, I would think.
But we must remember back in the World Cup, Australia looked down and out very early on that series, and I thought they had no hope in hell. And in the end, they ended up winning it.
They've got a brilliant constitution, the Aussies, haven't they? Like it's not lost on anybody. Regardless of the situation, they can find a way of getting over the line. Like the other day, that they were 120, 130 odd for 4 against England, with a massive total to chase, and they the next 2 put on 160 or something.
But it comes down to Australia being able to draw upon several mentors that have won World Cups or won major series. That is the key. Again, that's why South Africa have got no hope in hell until they have someone win something so they can draw upon their experience, because they are going nowhere. They can't draw upon anyone to come in their dressing room and say, oh, remember when we won this, remember we won that. They haven't got a sausage.
This tournament will have a big. The result of this game, I think, will have a big effect on the tournament, because I think it's really important where the semi-finals are played. It's a massive disadvantage for the team finishing second in this group to travel, or if the Kiwis beat India on Sunday and top the group, then whoever's playing India has still got to travel. The second place team or the top place team in this group has got to travel then to Dubai. So
isn't it amazing how Afghanistan can do what they're doing with so little resources available to them, no grounds of any note in their own country, constantly having to travel,
Yep.
a nucleus of a team which is sensational. Their depth, you would have to argue, is questioned, but it's not, because they are being blooded all over the world and will keep their Afghanistan citizenship. The women's team have been in exile for quite a while, as you probably know. There's a few here, and I think there's a few, if not the entire team in Australia. They're scattered around. They are also apparently top notch. Quite incredible when you think about it. Really, when you think about it.
It's incredible, and it's a feat. You know, the ICC have got their knockers for lots of stuff, including this tournament. But you know, the financing and the support they've given to these up and coming teams is the reason they're doing well. You know, and we're seeing Afghanistan and Ireland and Netherlands, all these
Oman.
All these up and coming teams are now, you know, proper international teams that are giving the likes of West Indies and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, they're giving them a game in all the tournaments. They're giving them a game, you know, and the game globally is in a great spot, because you've got tournaments happening all over the world every day of the week, every week of the year. With
the European League is quite strong.
It's unbelievably strong. You know, I think I was saying to you the other day, I managed the MCC team to tour Austria last year, and
did you go?
I managed it. Yeah, I was there. We played in Vienna, a T20 series. Austria had qualified for the ICC final T20 World Cup qualifying tournament in Scotland. Austria, like, you know, the only thing that people have ever heard from Austria are skiers, you know.
Well, I'll call myself one of the pioneers in Germany back in the early 90s. I played unofficially for Germany then at English Garden in Munich, and we actually then went to Espero in Italy. We played Italy. So, and I think I may have mentioned Martin Crowe was the coach.
Italy, another team that have come up through the rankings quite a lot, and have got some international players playing for them. You know, some well-known players playing for Italy. But Germany are a good side, Norm. No? Yeah. Germany got a good side. The MCC took a strong side to Austria. I'd never heard of Austrian cricket, admittedly, until I went there. And they were a good side. They were well organised. They got coaching. They got strength and conditioning coaches. They've got all supported by the ICC. And we tied the series 3-3, 6-match T20 series against the Austrian national team with a strong MCC team, and we tied the series 3 apiece. And they're in the top 25 in the world.
Vernon, who's a regular from the past, is commenting, it's all Aussies match. You'd have to think so, but you know what? I'm pretty impressed. They're 147 after 8.5 overs. They haven't lost wickets. Ibrahim is batting slowly, but we know he can accelerate. I wouldn't just, I mean, Gurbaz is a major wicket, that's for sure.
They've got
Nabi can bat.
The Afghans have got plenty of batting to come in the middle order. Their strong bit here is, and this is looking good for them at the moment, is
not many sides only lose one wicket against Australia in the first 10 overs. There's generally a few. It's usually 2 or 3 now.
No, and I thought that they would lose 2 or 3 to the pace of Johnson. Maybe they would have if he'd have got his radar on. But they're going to be after the power play. They're going to be 50 odd for 1 at the moment, which would be they would have snapped your hand off for it.
So what did you say? Is Chris coming or not?
He said he was just getting himself organised.
Well, what is he doing? Parting his hair or plaiting his hair? Or Chris
he
said, give me 5. I saw that.
He's
give
coming
me
on
5 what, Chris? We haven't got 5 anything, and we've been here for an hour and 17, 14 minutes. How many 5 minutes do you need?
We got to wait for him to come on now, just for the giggle factor of saying, right, thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, we've done our work now. The cleaning staff's just come in to clean the studio.
Yep. Norm's Norm's filled his belly up with a lovely green Thai curry, eaten live on air,
and a couple of spring rolls to boot.
Couple of spring rolls. He's just about to crack open a cold one on a Friday night.
It's Coke. It's not an alcohol. I can't be seen on live television having alcohol. That'll be blasphemous.
What about what about the rest of the weekend, Norm? You got anything planned for the? You're just going to sit and watch the game this evening?
Well, it just so happens that tomorrow night we have the annual gay and lesbian Mardi Gras happening here in Sydney, and I'll be going with a few of the girls who are here. That's an event to be had. And then Sunday, Joan and I was playing a game at Drummoyne Oval. I'll be attending that, and I'll probably even go for a swim at the beach. My favourite Coogee Beach, which you haven't been to Australia, have you yet, Carl?
Yep, I came in 2001. I toured in 2001 with the Midlands.
All right, but where did you go?
We went to Perth, Melbourne, and Sydney. And then
what beaches did you frequent in Sydney?
We played against Manly, so we went to Manly Beach, which was lovely. I enjoyed playing at Manly. I think the cricket club is Manly Warringah, is it? No,
Manly Warringah. That's the rugby league club.
But that was the name of the cricket club, I think, from memory. I've got a shirt at home from that club. Anyway, we played Manly, and the cricket field, from memory, is about one block in from the beach. So we had a walk down.
Everyone's just struck a beautiful cover drive.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he could be warming himself for a big innings again, you know.
Yep. Ellis,
so tell us your cricket credentials. What do you do on the team?
My cricket background, Norm, is I'm 50 now, so my best days are behind me. I played in the 90s. I played for my home county, Herefordshire, in the minor counties, which is the league below first class in the UK.
So what was your position?
I was an opening bat when I started, and I finished off mid-40s being an opening bowler. So I've done anything and everything to keep the team.
You need to explain that to me. How does someone go from being an opening batter at his younger years, then ends up bowling at his later years? There's something a bit screwy there.
Yeah, it's a selfish reluctance to retire gracefully. When my batting became, or when I was sort of, the game was moving on quite quickly. My career strike rate is an old-fashioned, probably 30-35 strike rate. So it's no good in the current game. But back then it was okay. And my forte was long format games.
So in other words, you're really called Carl Tabaret, or perhaps,
absolutely, yeah. My hero growing up was Graham Hick, played for Worcester.
Yeah, but how can he be your hero? You don't bat like him if you're batting slowly.
No, I don't. I bat more like my other hero, which is Raul Dravid, the Wall.
Hang on a minute. You're saying you bat like Raul Dravid. He scored something like 14,000 test runs. So what are you trying to tell me?
We're very similar. About 13,950 runs less.
Kind of close, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, but I made the most of my cricket, Norm. I enjoyed 10 years playing county cricket in the second tier, and then after that, I was put forward to join the MCC playing membership, and I've had a lot of good fun playing for the MCC over the last few years, and I've been on the committee there for the last 14 years.
Right. So what does a committee, what's your position involved? What do you do?
I look after the cricket playing members in the south of England. So there's the MCC is broken up into 14 regions in England, in the UK. Yep. I look after the 7 regions in the south. So the majority of the cricketers, the majority of the fixtures I look after for the MCC, which is why I've been lucky enough to go around the world touring and playing and managing the MCC fixtures.
Chris Vernon,
Morning,
how are you?
There you are.
Okay, now thank you all for joining us. We've had a great show, and we're about to finish up now. We've had enough, and we waited all bloody afternoon for somebody to join, and he says, "I'll jump." Now we might just. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Carl? Do you reckon we should just finish up now?
Well, I think we've had quite a few notes in the chat, Norm, about what's he doing and why is he an hour and a quarter late. So we probably should find out what the excuse is before we wrap it up.
And are you in Pakistan? Your screen is about as smog-ridden as Lahore is.
No, it's because I'm not at home, so I haven't got my screen. So yeah, I've had to. I'm in this just in my Airbnb for half hour. I've got a work thing this afternoon, but just seen the viewing figures have tripled since in the last minute or so, Norman. So good to see. How's the chat been, guys? All is good?
Yeah, all's good. I mean, did your dad and mother join? Did they or something?
Manu John, Chris definitely wants Australia to lose. Correct, Manu. Manu John's been a regular listener for a while, hasn't he, Norman? And yeah, it's a bit sunny in London today.
But I mean, Chris, you've come on late because you thought we would have exhausted the discussion about England. We haven't. They were awful.
Absolutely.
Even you could open with Carl and do better than them at the moment.
What I would say is they were awful, apart from Joe Root, who is always the bloke who puts his hand up and is counted. And I think it would be pretty harsh to say that they were all awful, because I think Joe Root certainly hasn't done his
But you
himself
hang
any
on,
harm,
you're
has he?
taking him away from the problem. You're lauding Joe Root, and you've got 10 other players that were rooted, perhaps, in their play.
Yeah, the problem is, I think it's not necessarily the players' fault that the ECB have gone down this line of obsessing over people who bowl 90 mile an hour, and it's all well and good having one, but having 3 or 4 blokes who will bowl right arm. I don't think we have any left-handers apart from Duckett on the side. You know, someone like David Willey and Sam Curran and Liam Dawson. You know, where's the variety in the attack? Why is Sam Curran won Player of the Tournament in the 2020 World Cup and has hardly played since? So it makes no sense why some of these guys have been sort of ostracised or pushed away from the side. So, as I said, it's all well and good having Atkinson and Overton and Archer and Wood, but on flat, decent wickets, they want good batsmen want the pace coming onto the ball.
Maybe David Graveney needs to come back on the selection panel there, because he's a Sam Curran devotee, of course, isn't he?
Yeah, we need to get Grav back on the eyes on cricket at some point as well.
Well, we haven't invited him. We'll do that. We'll do that for the semi-finals, all right? Have you had any discussion with him?
I haven't talked to him. No, not at all.
No, I'll give him a bill. I'll give him a bill. All right, now just go back to England for a moment. They're out of the Champions Trophy. We now have South Africa playing, well, potentially as the third out of the 4. Australia wins this, there'll be the other team. Who do you think is going to win it?
Today or in general?
General.
I think it's hard to look past India, isn't it? The problem is it's a bit like that old adage: who would you rather steal your wife off of, your brother or your dad? It's India or Australia. It's a pretty hard choice, really, to be fair. But I'd like South Africa to win it. I think they've got a pretty good side. The problem is I just don't see. I think I could see South Africa beating Australia, maybe, just because I think the wickets would dictate would play in South Africa's hands a bit better. But I can't see anyone beating India on the slow spinning wickets out in Dubai.
I would agree with that. Carl, you think the same, don't you?
I do. I think it's a massive advantage, and I think that the rest of the teams. I think it's madness. I just can't get host nation where the final could be somewhere else. It just beggars belief.
Chris, did you move yourself up? Chris, did you move yourself to the top row? How did you get to the top row?
I think it's just done on popularity of panelists, Norman.
Manu John thinks that you're biased, Chris, and that you definitely want Australia to lose.
do want Australia to lose. I'm ever going to deny that, but it's in fact the best result in the final would be just a monsoon in Dubai and a whole week's worth of rain, and no one wins. Can share the trophy.
That sounds like some anti-Christmas type message there. I think.
I think the shame going back to the India situation, it's just the ICC potentially pandering to India. If this tournament was in India, there's no way they would say to Pakistan, you can play your games in Dubai. They would say either suck it up and come or don't. And that's
Very
just
good
a shame,
point.
really.
What if Pakistan pulled rank or tried to pull rank and say, oh, we're playing in Dubai? I wonder what would have happened. I really do.
Well, but then nothing would happen because the ICC India is 60%, isn't it, or 50% of the ICC money. So whether you like it or not, India can pull the strings because that's where the funding and that's where the IPL comes in, and that's where a lot of the the economics work for the ICC. So I'm sure there was where the ICC tournament was in India last year, wasn't it? In the 2020 World Cup was in India, or
Of course.
the World Cup. Did
But they do
Pakistan play
tend
in
to
India?
rotate that. And in all fairness, Chris, they have given Pakistan a good run on this. At least the venues, not the India-Pakistan rivalry, but the venues.
But where in the World Cup last year did Pakistan play their games in India?
They did.
Okay, well, there's your answer.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Pretty sad.
The last international tournament, India played Pakistan in New York, didn't they?
That's right. That's correct. When was the last time India played Pakistan in Pakistan? That's the question.
Well, probably not for
Were you
a
born,
long
Chris?
time.
Were you born, Chris, or were you still your dad thinking about having it?
Guarantee you and Carl have definitely been born. I'm not sure about me, but no, there must have been something in the
No, you
mid
didn't answer my
'90s,
question.
didn't it? With
Don't throw me and Carl under the bus with your comment. Answer my bloody question. Don't. He's a good. He fobs things off very well. He doesn't. He should be a bloody. He'll be the next bloody Prime Minister of England. Heaven help you guys if he becomes Prime
can
Minister.
you imagine?
No, I can't. Kentish Mortgages will be the only place you can get any money. The only ones with money. It'll be all funneled.
It would
It'll
be
be all funneled through your Bahama accounts.
it'd be getting a big PPE
Isle of
contract.
Man or Isle of Wight or one of the isles. It'll become a fraudulent activity personified there. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely, PPE all the way.
Carl, what about would you bribe Chris as leader of the country? What would you put forward?
There's plenty of frightening thoughts around at the moment, Norm. That is one of the things that would keep people up shivering all night, every night, if C. Vernon was Prime Minister, because the only person that the country would be looking after is C. Vernon.
You don't have to worry. I have no
is he Trump
intentions.
Vernon? Why don't you call yourself Trump Vernon? That sounds like a good change.
Donald Vernon.
I've got some.
Have we got any other comments?
particularly big-
Is it just Manu John in the comments, or are there?
You
What are
missed
your
out.
thoughts,
You
Norman?
missed out, Vernon. Norm nipped out of the broadcast to take delivery of what looked a lovely green Thai curry halfway through.
Oh, lovely. Just now getting
There's
cold.
no evidence of that now. There's no evidence at all. I think you were
He's an
delusional.
athlete, Norman.
Carl, you saw a green curry. You thought I was having it because you're hungry. Clearly.
I saw it evaporate quite quickly. Norm, I could tell you that for nothing.
So are you holding fort by yourself, Donald?
Hang on. Food doesn't evaporate; it gets eaten. Remember that. Where would it doesn't get evaporated? It's a falsehood there. All right, let's get back to cricket. Maxwell is in. Manu John saying Maxwell is in. He's bowling. Here we go. Second ball. I like Maxwell. I really am sad. No, we don't see more that he didn't play more Test cricket.
I just don't think he's made out for Test cricket, is he? He's not. He's not the sort of bloke you need coming in at, at 20 for 3 on a green top. He's a
certainly be played if he was English. Norm, McCullum would pick him, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He has to be South African to get picked for England, doesn't he? Glenn Vander Hoos and Maxwell.
We could do with
from Yorkshire to be picked for Australia.
Who are you referring to there? Josh Inglis?
Yeah.
Well, what about the MCC as their captain? You get Clinton Perrin. What the hell? Are you one of the selectors, Carl? You gave an Australian a captain.
He's a good bloke, Clint.
I'm not saying he's not a good bloke. He's a top bloke.
Top bloke. I like Clint. I've got a lot of time for him. We'll pick anyone to be captain. Norm, there's no English preference. If Vern's mate Basisto has captained a few games, good cricketers.
But Chris,
cricketers all over the world.
But Chris insisted on being captain in the game that we were involved with. He put his chest out and was going, "I'm captain."
I think it's worse than that, Norm. I think there was some bribery involved. I think he probably did a mortgage for the guy that picked the team or something like that.
I'm not surprised. I mean, you had a IPL player in that team who got nothing.
What was the result? Did the MCC win?
We did win.
As far as I'm concerned, the game won that match. It was our talented players that kept it afloat.
We won quite comfortably. Overs played in that game as well.
Adam Zampa's on, Norm, for the Aussies.
Here we go. This will be one. Look, let's have a look. Afghanistan have crept up to 1 for 70 here. Let's not forget that 1 for 70 is no slouchy score.
No, you're heading for 300 plus to chase, which I still think you'll get. But the Afghans are performing well, aren't they? This is a better start than I was expecting.
I tell you what, I feel an upset on our hands here.
In fairness to Norm, Chris, he predicted a tough game for the Aussies at the start, and I predicted a comfortable Aussie win. And
Ibrahim's out. Ibrahim's bloody out now.
It's very early to say, but
I've got a feeling that Ibrahim will be out next ball. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling that Ibrahim's out next ball. I got this in the back of my mind. He's out this ball. He'll be out this ball. Here he is. He got caught. Yes, he's caught it.
You've had a commentator's curse the whole game, Norm. You started off by telling the thousands and millions watching that Johnson didn't get any wickets, and the next ball he knocked his poles over. And you've just lauded the Afghan batting, and he's cut a long hop to backward point.
And it was the guy who scored 177. And he got caught by Labuschagne of all people. Oh, Jesus. We won't hear the end of this.
I could offer a fairly controversial opinion here. I actually think that Afghanistan would have more chance of beating India in Dubai than Australia or South Africa would, because they've got 3 very good spinners. They win the toss and you put 260 on. You've got Rashid Khan, you've got Noor, the left armour, and Nabi. There's an argument to say that they've got more chance to cause an upset against India than say Australia.
Wouldn't that be wonderful if Afghanistan won? It'd turn this tournament on its head, and it'll be a very positive result.
It'd be great for the game, yeah.
Because we know that South Africa's not going to win. They're going to be choking as soon as they walk into the dressing room.
I'd like South Africa to win. I think they've got a pretty good side, to be fair.
Chris,
how many
times have you said that about South Africa? How many times did it not happen?
Manny John said India last played in Pakistan, Karachi, 19th of February, 2006.
Chris was, very
18 years ago.
You were still in nappies at 14, weren't you, Chris?
I was 14, 1992 I was born.
Oh. All right, so now we go down to batters that I'm not familiar with. Ramat, I don't know much about him. Well, he scored 3,963 runs. That's not bad. Isn't Adam Zampa underrated? Let's be honest.
I don't think he's underrated, because I think a lot of people appreciate how good he is. I don't think he can be overrated, because I think people
underplayed,
acknowledge how good he is and how
could be playing Test cricket.
Well, they obviously just don't. He could be playing Test cricket, but they've got Nathan Lyon, and they at the moment, I know Nathan Lyon is getting on a bit. Could he have gone in the recent Test tour to Sri Lanka over Kuhneman or Todd Murphy, possibly? But for whatever reason, they obviously don't rate him or see him as a Test match bowler.
But he's recently come to New South Wales from Victoria, and he's trying to get into the good books with selectors by being there. And if, in all fairness, we haven't got a leg spinner of his caliber at that level anymore, so he might seem still get a Guernsey.
But Norm, what's his first class record like?
Very good, very good, very impressive. He gets quite a few 5-wicket hauls. He's in Sydney because the SCG suits his bowling. I think if Nathan Lyon wasn't around, he'd be in the side in some way, shape, or form. Okay, keep lauding Afghanistan, Norman. Ops Chelsea is being cheeky. Is Zakran has gone. How do you like that, Chris? Oh, okay, there you go.
Am I right in saying
Yeah,
yesterday there was some positive news?
Oh, I'm copying it too. Keep lauding Afghanistan, Norman. Is that sarcastic? Look at them getting sarcastic in their old age, these guys. Why don't you have a go at Carl? Have a go at Carl back something up. Carl's just bragged about his MCC days. I haven't seen his batting record yet. It hasn't been proven. There's nothing statistically anywhere. Have you got your name on any of the boards?
No.
Right.
Sadly
have
not.
You, Chris?
I did play in a one-day final there, Norm, county final day. Got a winners medal from playing at Lords. County one-day final. Didn't do anything. Got smacked into the top tier of the stands as a bowler.
Is that something you're proud of?
Yeah, why not? Not many.
Well, there's not many grounds in the country that Carl hasn't been hit into orbit on. So it's just added it to the list, really.
Oh, let's give it a Carl now. Chris. Give us some, Carl. Give us some. You've been brought on the show to give me some gospel on Chris. Give me some gospel.
Well, I think what the fans want to know, including Manu, who's letting Chris have it. How do you like that one, Chris? How do you like those apples? Manu wants to know where Chris has been because it's a mystery. 9:30 on a Friday morning, there's something going on. The thousands around the world want to know what he's up to.
Are they blonde hairs on the couch?
I'm currently in a work Zoom, and then I've got to go to a networking thing later. So it's all fun and games.
I see blonde hair on that lounge. Do you see the blonde hair?
I wish. It'd be much more fun than talking to you blokes.
I've booked in for later, Norm.
Am I right in thinking, going back to cricket, that there was some positive news on? Have they expanded the Asia Trophy? Is it now an 8-team tournament, not a 6-team? That's got to be. We should try and get Simon Willis on to talk about that, Norman, because he's obviously head coach at Hong Kong, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Well,
positive.
I'd hope that he would be. I mean, they deserve it. They're going pretty well. They're getting quite a bit of a success with Simon Willis. Has been a great coup for them. I'm very happy for
him. Yeah.
Having been with the England system, with the Sri Lankan system.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, and he's a level 4 coach, isn't he? I think he came back, has his own private coaching company as well, and then has obviously taken a pretty cool role in Hong Kong. And at the MCC tour there semi-regularly, don't they, Carl? Must be another Hong Kong trip due.
They're coming here. They're playing at Lords this year.
Nice.
Excellent.
They're playing at Lords, I think, on day 6 of the England-India Test match. They play on the Test match pitch after the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So they play right in the middle of the square.
Well, the SCG 11, we've got a Guernsey once, but we've played the main ground. We've also played the nursery ground, and then we played the lesser MCC team captained by Chris on a ground. It was somewhere. It was a barn. It was near a barn, and it was
a Middlesex Premier League ground, Carl. I can't remember where it was. There were 2 grounds there, wasn't there?
I do remember the game. Wasn't it out towards Heathrow somewhere?
Yeah, not Finchley. It was. I could probably find it, to be fair, but yeah, it was pre-COVID, Norman. It definitely was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was
2019,
2019.
maybe.
19.
And when's it, Norman? When's the next SCG tour?
Well, it was meant to have happened when I went to England in 22, but it didn't. It'll be probably 20. When are we next tour your way? 27?
Yeah, it must be 27 because it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was with you last year, wasn't I? Was it last year? No, it was the year before. It was 23 the last time. So it must be
Well,
27.
you were here last year because you came to Lords because I played at
Yeah,
Lords
yeah.
on the
Yeah,
day
that was
6 of the
what's
test.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 27, actually.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
another
I think
week?
you're right. I
Look at
think
the
you're right.
sky. It's perfectly clear sky. The sun's beating down, but there's so much smog. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. This match is not going the way that Australia would like. What is your prediction for this match? Now that we see the match panning out the way it is, with Afghanistan 2 for 75 off 16 overs, they could well be head towards 300. But do you think Australia will get that pretty easily?
Yeah. I'm not changing my prediction, Norm, from the start of the show. When I predicted a comfortable Aussie win, Afghanistan winning the toss and batting first is just playing into the Aussies' hands. The batters will love to chase 250, 300, which is what they're going to get.
All right, Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the easy money is to back the Aussies. The only thing you would say is that Afghanistan, clearly their team structure and makeup is got three good spinners. They did it against England. They backed themselves to defend, even with the spin. So look, I think if Afghanistan can post anywhere north of 265, 270, 280, then they're going to be in the game. The Aussies do rely. I know Inglis played well the other day, but they do rely heavily on Travis Head at the top of the order to get off to a good start. And if you can get him out, I imagine that Australia probably will win this, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Afghanistan put up a good fight, and you never know, maybe even get the win.
He's due a score, isn't he, Travis Head? He's due a big score. Could be this afternoon.
And England obviously are going to. Well, let's move away from England. South Africa play Australia. No, they already have played. Who's South Africa playing next? They're playing England.
England Saturday.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
I mean,
I said
the
earlier
problem is that
that South Africa will win.
England will probably turn up and whack 400 or something, and it will kind of gloss up, paper over the cracks of what will probably be Joss Butler's last game as captain. As long as I think England just need to try and restore some pride, maybe get Tom Banton in, give a couple of the non, Rehan Ahmed's in the squad now. Maybe try and give a couple of those lads just a run out and have a look at them, get some experience, and just use it as a bit of a free hit.
They don't need to play. Rashid's a brilliant cricketer, but it's a dead rubber for us. So give Rehan Ahmed a game instead of Rashid, or play both of them.
Just be careful with the word dead rubber.
One less
I don't think. But I'm an advocate of not calling any match ever a dead rubber, because you're playing for your country.
Now, I think dead rubber in terms of there's no progress. We can't go anywhere in the tournament.
I appreciate that, but it's still playing for your country.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, us three, if we're offered to play any match, whether it's a dead rubber or just a straight rubber, or a
straight rubber,
yeah,
that's a bit of an entendre, that Norman, a straight rubber.
Well, I mean, it depends what you like. I mean, I'm not going to go through your habits, with the blonde hair on the seat. The reality is, it's something of a no match playing for your country is a dead rubber, and it annoys me. I know they get paid millions these days, and they play a lot of matches. They should treat every match with the same respect as the most important match. That's what I would be doing.
The players will do. The players will obviously do that. I don't see any of those players not going out and trying their best. I think what Kyle and I are sort of alluding to is that the game, there's nothing riding on the game competition-wise. So the management committee or the McCullums might say, let's give a couple of legs and run-outs to some of the guys who haven't had as much cricket and have a look at them.
Well, what you've got to bear in mind is that Mark Wood won't be playing, number one. So Atkinson will come in for Mark Wood. Livingston went off the field with an injury, so may or may not be fit. And Jamie Smith, are they going to play him again? I don't know. I mean, God knows why he's batting at 3 in that lineup. But Tom Banton's a far more accomplished one-day player, and he must be sat in the dugout wondering how on earth he's not playing, because he's been in good form all around the world, and for my money should have been playing, and will play on Saturday. I'm sure. Tom Banton, Ryan Ahmed, and Gus Atkinson will come in, and Mark Wood and 2 others will drop out. Maybe Rashid, or they'll play 2 spinners.
All right, they were the famous last words for today. We're going to make sure that everyone that I will be passing on at the Cricket Club YT, make sure you're on that. Did you get the download of the previous video?
I don't think we did, Norman. If you could email that,
I
I'll
sent
send
you
that
the link.
across.
I sent you the link.
Oh, perfect.
Great. And anybody that's watching, thanks for watching today, and come and see us at the Cricket Club YT. We've got Adam Holyoke coming on hopefully next week. We've got one of the up-and-coming rising stars of the England women's team, Rihanna McDonald-Gay, coming on next week, talk about the women's game. So we've got some exciting guests coming up next, and we're going to keep checking in with Norm, see what's on the agenda for next week's takeaway food. Hoping to do. We should do some sort of scoring system, Norm, of the local Sydney takeout hostelries.
And we can call it Norman's Nosh. Norman's
Now,
Noshing.
Chris,
That's a different show, isn't it?
Chris, viewers, just tell
Noshing with Norman.
If he decides to come on time next time, it might be more polite than what he's been doing. Don't
Nosh
you
with
agree?
Norman.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. We'll catch up soon. Take care. I'll end this broadcast now. And again, Eyes on Sports or Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koshnak. We've got thousands watching some of the videos that are going there now. Hopefully we can stay tuned. We'll try to get back together. South Africa, England, we may get back together, but certainly the semis and final we'll cover as a group. All right?
Look forward to
guys,
it.
stay tuned. Look out for the links, notifications will be there. View, like,
Good
and
luck,
share
everyone.
the posts, and subscribe. All right, see you
All the
later,
best.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Good to see you.